就是含金量很高，像 Major 级别的这样一个赛事冠军的话，会让大家在内心里肯定自己，肯定队友。我觉得这个非常的重要。
相对来说，夺冠之后，我觉得可能大家都更自信了吧，就打法什么的都会比以前来更好。
现在中国队的话，我们跟老干爹状态，我们这2个队差不多，但是比起像世界级强队 ，VP 啊、Secret 和VG 的话，我觉得还有点不足，没有他们稳定。
说实话，肯定是希望 VG 是走到最后中国队啊，但我也同时也希望有中国队能夺冠。
我觉得可能大家都更自信了吧，就因为第一次在 TI 在中国办嘛，所以可能会比较觉得特殊吧。
就想着就是打好自己吧，就是不能把遗憾留在中国吧。
像我个人的话，我也算是现在为数不多的还就是留在赛场上，像以前遗留下来的老人吧。我也不希望变成一个孤巢老人嘛，希望还是能拿出点成绩来，证明自己还是可以的。
TI 的话打了这第3届吧，站在主舞台，就是到场馆的时候感觉那种感觉特别好吧，然后就想一直在这个舞台打下去。
我觉得今年 TI 如果 VG 夺冠的故事线的话，应该就是因为我们一直以来都不太被人看好嘛。
我觉得我们故事线应该就是在胜这组遨游吧，就一直在想着胜这组遨游，不想下去。
如果能真的拿到 TI 冠军的话，感觉这应该是一个非常励志的故事哦。从 Minor 冠军到 Major 冠军，再到 TI 冠军，1年之内，不敢想，很童话了。
我觉得今年 TI 如果 VG 夺冠的故事线的话。
Folks, definitely getting very excited for this series. I think that this was one of the series, Trent, that I was actually the most excited for, just to see what the heck the crowd was going to do.
Yeah.
And it definitely hasn't disappointed.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like those matchups when we're back in Seattle, right? Where it's like it's kind of the same idea where the crowd can rally around both teams, be it someone like, of course, like Na'Vi and Alliance, right? You think like it doesn't matter really regions and stuff. Everyone's just super excited. EG/OG last year, I think the same idea of just super excited for the Dota, and here it's just even more intense because there's this idea of just like your entire nation, everyone's just so proud of the players coming from there and see them both battling out on the stage. It's absolutely incredible to watch. And yeah, I mean, we all took our headsets off after the first little panel we did. We couldn't believe how loud it actually was in here.
Yeah, I turned to Dove and I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that it was actually like these headphones obviously are slightly noise canceling, but we know that they are going to be getting loud yet again as they do actually step to the stage right now. We have both of our teams in place. LGD currently going to be leading by 1. We're in the upper portion of the bracket. Whoever does lose this series will still be with us, but they don't want to drop down to that loser's bracket, which is absolutely infested with top teams. Let's see who's going to take this series.
PSG.LGD versus VG Gaming. Game 2.
A team turned into a brotherhood. VG Gaming being down a game now. I've got Insania as well as Boxy joining me once again. Gentlemen, what do you think about that last game? What was really the key point for you?
I think the key things in the last game was you basically saw LGD go for this draft where if they managed to stall the game out and slow it down and, use Kunkka, use these heroes that they had to deflect the pushes and the aggressive gameplay that was coming out of the Slashrack and Rasta, they would rely upon the TB to eventually carry the game out. Whereas VG Gaming wanted to close the game out before the TB really was a relevant hero and just abuse the fact that they were so much stronger in the early game. And I think both teams had a way to win that game, but LGD just executed their game plan much better.
And so what does that mean going into our draft for Game 2?
I think VG might try and play a little bit more of a map control game because they played a very deathfall kind of lineup last game where they had Abaddon and Warlock. These heroes don't really have any lockdown, but they have a lot of teamfight presence. And since they felt like they couldn't do it, it didn't work out. Maybe they're confident to try the same thing again, but if it were us, we would probably try to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think they probably also realized, like, they even banned out the Lush-Track already, so they're taking it a bit of a different direction. Maybe they felt like the best way to deal with LGD was this approach that maybe isn't their most comfortable playstyle. It's, of course, among the styles that they play. It wasn't a draft that I think was, like, new to them or anything like that, but maybe they feel like if they can match their pace a bit more, and instead of trying to set this, like, off-tempo game where if the game drags on, they lose, but if they win fast, they should be able to do it easily. Try to just match the tempo and get a more even game.
Does mean Elder Titan will sneak out into the pool. First pick for LGD.
Yeah, it's a very strong hero. Seen a lot of play this TI. I think it matches very well with magic damage dealers, since the aura, the spirit gives like a magic damage reduction aura. And LG tends to pick a lot of magic damage lineups.
Yeah.
So we might see some Zeus or Lina or anything like that to combo with the ET further on.
I think also it just fits how they want to play. They tend to play X-Nova on this like lane-winning position 5 hero, and I'm expecting him to be playing this other Titan. Also, it does a good job of slowing the game pace down. It's one of those heroes that you can position it behind a tower and just keep stomping out waves and slowing the game down. So if, for whatever reason, VG Gaming were about to do something similar to last game, they would already have like a good start to build their draft off of.
Well, when it comes to lane winning, that duo that was just picked up by VG Gaming, the Sand King Mirana, that's going to be hard to beat.
It's very strong. It has a lot of damage with levels, but I think that in early levels, if you have something like a Nyx or something similar, or even a Spectre, I think is pretty good. You can definitely survive the laning stage, but I do think that the map control coming out of it, like Sand King can defend your towers, it pushes out lanes, it's very hard to kill, and Potom, together with Sand King or any other stun, can pretty much kill anybody alone on the map, and it's Potom ulti to get runes, to be like maybe ward out, smoke, whatever.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going the map control already with those two heroes.
We saw that when Sand King was first introduced with his new Sandstorm, that this hero was being picked up a ton. And what a lot of teams were using was to be able to defend these towers. It was so hard to push into a Sandstorm with like a Sand King hiding in the trees. Do you think that's like another reason it's being picked back up in time for TI?
I think, yeah, I mean, of course, it's always going to be part of it. It's one of his many strengths, but I think a more prominent reason is like the rise of the other heroes that surround Sand King, like the position 4s like Mirana that have come into the pool. You see Leshrac much more frequently. Even heroes like Faceless Void like play the draft, makes sense to have Sand King with them, and I think that's a big part of why the hero has risen to popularity now again.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, a lot more about the synergy. I can do that.
And like matchups in general. Yeah. I don't think the hero himself has changed that much over the last month or whatever. It's more so the surrounding heroes.
Ogre. Ooh, that hero just seemed to come out of nowhere just in time for TI and has been just dominating everywhere. This core Ogre, when did you guys first like discover this core Ogre that I'm not sure who actually was the first to really run it, and what do you guys think about it?
We saw it. We saw some other teams playing it a while ago, and I figured it feels pretty good. Ever since they changed the multicast chance to be very high, and now that you can use items, you can buy Midas and accelerate like crazy. That was like always the problem before playing core Ogre. You never got any items. You were like super poor. So that made it very strong, and I think now it should be on the offlane, since ET is normally their 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time it is their 5. I do think FY can also play it though, so the possibility of an Ogre 5 is there. But I think the big change for Ogre was when the Fire Blast stun fully stacked.
Yeah.
So you get like a 3-second stun on a multicast.
Yeah, no, that's very
and I think after that, a lot of people started picking it up again and trying him out, and then you realize, you know, this hero's not too bad.
One of the ways I like to think about it is that Medallion and Solar Crest have been really important items in this current meta, and what's better than one Solar Crest than a multicasted Solar Crest? It's just crazy that you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very fun. They recently increased the item buffer range as well. So before you would have the problem with, well, you cast it on one guy, but then there's only like 200 or 300 units for it to reach anybody else. I think they buffed it up to 800.
Yeah.
So you can basically hit somebody on the other side of your screen with your items. So like you just run in, hex one guy, and like their backline supports are also pigs is running around.
Yeah. Believe me, I tried it. As soon as they made that change, I was like, all right, I'm going to get the cast range talent, Ether Lens, and Rod of Atos, and I just want to see what the max distance it can go.
Yeah, it's
pretty
fun.
crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. So LGD actually banned out Kunkka. I'm not sure why that is. I feel like it's a very interesting ban. I feel like it's a hero that kind of more so fits them than it does Vici. The only reason I can really see for it is that you don't want to give Mirana this free X setup mid.
Might be afraid of the arrow combo.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to play this mid heroes that match well into it.
Right. And then there's like Odie and Kunkka, right, that are the primary two, and then I think there's Ember Spirit and Storm, which are like slightly worse, but they can also be this Mirana setup. So it could be part of the reasoning that they're trying to look to set themselves up for heroes that they want to pick against, Ember and Storm specifically, or OD.
Is there any mid heroes that you're really scared of Kunkka?
I mean, there's Brood.
Yeah, I think that most of the ranged heroes are going to be scared of the X into Mirana combo that don't have an escape. But specifically, like, Brood, I guess.
Yeah, but there's also like Lesh and Gyro are out, right?
Yeah.
I would think of them as pretty bad heroes into Kunkka. Ember and Storm, I think, are okay.
No, I think they're pretty good. I think they lane well and they're good in the game.
So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting pick from LGD because they're going to have to reveal one other core. Either they're going to confirm that the Ogre is an offlane Ogre, or they're going to have to pick up what would most likely be their offlaner here. I think LGD generally tries to keep their core picks for later on.
Yeah, and I think with Mirana 4 and the Sven carry, they should be a little bit careful about offlane tri-lane. I think that, or even safe lane. I think that Sanking does very well alone, and it does very well especially in the safe lane alone. And Ogre is, the hero tends to thrive when he can't be killed.
Yeah.
And if you're into like some Mirana, Sven plus another hero, you might just feed on the tri-lane.
Yeah.
And it's makes it very rough to come back into the game. Yeah, I think Jakiro is very strong as well to ward off any like aggro tri-lanes.
Yeah.
Super hard to play into the dual breath.
Absolutely. I think that was an amazing pick actually, and I think FY is going to be playing it as a position 4. LGD tends to run this like more farmy, whichever of the two supports has an easier time hitting creeps, seems to be the one that FY is playing.
Yeah. It's also, it's kind of beefy support, so even if Sanking and Potom would find him out in the open somewhere in the woods, he could probably survive at least for the first few seconds. Definitely one of the more tankier guys out there.
It's also another hero that stalls the game for you as a support. That was something you mentioned for the Elder Titan.
Yeah.
Do you think with that idea, is LGD going to try and secure themselves a better late game?
I think they're going to try to. I mean, VG Gaming picked up their Sven fairly early, right? So LGD is going to have they have the opportunity now to decide whether they want to try to, you know, match the pace or try to go for something more outscaling. And I think knowing LGD, they're probably going to try to play something more scaling.
Yeah.
And
they banned Void and Lifestealer. I think I would have liked both of those heroes as a carry. I'm not sure what they will
for
pick
LGD,
here.
yeah.
But it's gonna be a lot about the mid hero, I think. They don't really have any playmakers right now. Like Ogre, he can run in and he can be tanky, but he has kind of short range and it's not really a lot of mobility. So I think they have to pick something, if they want to scale, have to be something that like enables their team to make moves and kill people. Oh
there you go.
That's the carry.
And you guys nailed it. There's your hard carry right there.
Yeah. No, it's very good against like the Sanking and Potom, like I talked about.
Yeah.
The Spectre, he's like his dagger secures you a lot of range creeps, and Sanking automatically pushes the lane. Either he skills Sandstorm or he skills his Caustic, or you stun, and then you also stun the entire creep wave.
Yeah.
And since you're kind of tanky to Desolate, you can dagger run out into the trees. Like it's hard to get a clean combo on Spectre in the lane. It's definitely one of the better counters to this dual offlane stun lane, I think.
Yeah, and I played with my fair share of Marana support. It's very annoying to play against Spectre, because even when he just presses Haunt, you're not really a hero that buys a lot of sustain, so just the damage you take from that sometimes forces you back to base, or forces you to play very defensively in a fight, so...
Yeah, both Lion and Marana suffer to getting haunted on. Like, one follow-up or even alone, to the Spectre alone, if he gets Manta, I think they're both dead.
Yeah, Lion is one of the... Like, he has the opportunity to be one of the better heroes, but you're not always, like...
You need to instantly react to the Haunt and hexing the illusion and mana draining it. But
the Spectre has the advantage, for sure, because he knows when the Haunt is going to come.
So what is your thought process when you're put into this check position, where the enemy team says, hey, we're going to pick this really late game hero? How do you deal with that just with one pick to go?
I mean, I think if you're Vici right now, like, they changed up their style, right? I think there's two ways to basically beat late game drafts. One is you control the map and you don't let them get any farm, and then you just win the game with an overwhelming gold lead. And the other one is what they went for in the first game, where they try to just push the game and wrap it up as soon as possible before late game even is a factor. So they have a fairly good draft to control the map. If you look at their heroes, they have a lot of tools. They have a lot of heroes that can build into blinks, and they have heroes that are very heavy on damage. And these are like the primary two things you need. You're going to need to have catch, and you're going to need to like play this fast-paced pick-off game where LGD isn't just allowed to sit back, split the map in half, and farm.
I think the problem for Vici right now is they don't really have any way to get objectives. They're going to have to pick something like a DP or some other type of tower pusher, so they can get Roach, get towers, and make sure that they keep the map small for LED. And LED is going to have to, once again, pick a playmaker or something like that. Tiny spanned out.
They need a stall hero.
Yeah. DK. Yeah. Alright.
I think they might DP on Vici. Problem is they don't have a save for the ET stall.
Are you a bit concerned about damage? Picking up a DK like this?
As LGD.
I think that with having like ET and Spectre, I don't think you ever really run out of that. Like, I think you can run out of damage, but I think if it's kind of only in the early stages of the game.
Okay.
Kind of the way I see it. If at least if Spectre is farmed, you're always going to have damage because it's a hero that deals damage by tanking.
So that like that early game is going to be their weakest point. VG Gaming, that's the part that they're going to try and hit hardest.
Yeah, I would think so. Before, like before the Jakiro gets a 4-stuff, before the Ogre gets a pipe, they're hopefully gonna be able to get a few kills.
I think their problem is that they're gonna need to use so many spells to bring this DK down, and if any of their like stun flow is interrupted, like you know you want a Sanking Blink Stun arrow, and then you want Lion to finger him, or Sven to follow up on that, like the damage to kill DK in of itself is fairly slow. So the opportunity for counterplays like ET Stomps and Ice Paths and Spectral Haunting in and blocking the arrow, or whatever, anything like this could happen, could really throw off the damage coming inwards. So that means that the DK can play very aggressively.
Necro, alright.
So that addresses the problem you just pointed out about being able to, like, you're going to run out of spells focusing on this DK. Necrophos just cuts that in half. Do you guys like that last pick?
Yes and no. I think it makes sense for what they needed, but I don't believe too much in Necro as a hero of itself.
Yeah.
Fox, do you agree? It's
going to be hard for them to take towers in rows, but if they can snowball, I think they're definitely going to snowball very well.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to see if this is going to be good enough.
I think an interesting aspect about this this draft is that you see VG Gaming kind of like adapt to LGD, and I think this is something that usually gives you an indicator of which team thinks they're better than the other one. And VG Gaming in game 1 went with the push style, and now they're trying to play this more map control draft. And I think this is like, it's a bit telling to how they see LGD, and how LGD is just like, nah, we're gonna be us. We're gonna go late game, we're gonna farm, we're gonna pick these late game drafts, we're gonna do what we're good at, because if we do that, that's good enough for us to win.
That's got to be tough, going against a team that knows you so well. To have that kind of signature style, you would look like that the enemy team would know you so well that they'd be able to counter that.
I think for sure it's hard for Vichy, because now they're pressured in another way, not really to take towers and be able to end the game, but they need to get a lot of kills, and they need to keep the map very closed.
Yeah.
So it's another type of pressure where you need to do well, and you need to make sure that you shut down the enemy team, whereas LGD can play more patient and more relaxed, kind of, or like they can sit back and be ready for what's coming. Sort of similar to the game 1.
And is that why we see like so many of these later game lineups, because there's just TI has so much pressure already that just being able to keep a little bit off of you by saying we don't have to be the ones playing flawless here, they do.
For sure.
It helps, and like when you're the team responding, you have a bit more time to think things through. When you're the team that needs to be hyperactive all the time, you kind of just got to focus on where do we move next, where is the next micro move that we need to make. But the team that's playing for late game generally has a better macro view of the game.
All right, let's get this game 2 started, but first we've got ROTK with Casey.
ROTK, one of the original true Dota gods. I will take whatever you are willing to share with us about how you feel about the draft.
2人跟我分享一下选完之后感觉如何？
感觉5-5开吧。
I feel like it's 50-50.
A very fair assessment. Thank you and good luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Casey. 50-50, says ROTK
50-50.
on this one. An interesting approach compared to some of the coaches that come out and say, easy, you know, easy draft. We outdrafted them. 50-50, a lot of respect there from the big man himself. And looking at the two drafts, would you sort of agree with ROTK on this one? You think it's a close one?
They both have their benefits, right? Like the draft panel was talking about it too. Vici, they have a very aggressive, you look at them, they have stuns aplenty, lots of ways to lock heroes down, lots of ways to apply that damage, and lots of burst damage too, if they can control the map and if they can come out of their lanes well. But I look at LGD, they not only did pick a late game insurance, they also do have some pretty tough lanes. Jakiro, as we've seen, has been dominating most laning matchups. Same thing with Ogre, and same with ET. These three heroes, they're very strong in the laning aspect. So we'll see if Vici is actually going to be able to kind of run over and get that big advantage and get that map control that they're really going to need versus a Spectre line.
They've got to do it. They've got to do it quick because it's a similar problem down the line, right? There's going to be so much beef and brawniness on LGD's side that the late game is not going to be fun.
I haven't gotten to see this set yet in person.
It's beautiful.
It's the beautiful Ori Necrophos set. We'll take a look at it.
He's got it all right. He's got the Bird Boy, the Sullen Rampant as well.
Yep, it's beautiful.
He is ready to flex on LGD, and we'll see if he can do so. It was a tough game 1 for VG Gaming. Switched it up a little bit, and to the point that they have so much sort of potential to kill early on, right? If they, as sort of the draft panel was saying, if they can get the ball rolling, start moving around with Ori, taking people out with the Reaper's Scythe, this game is going to get played at a pace where there's not necessarily going to be the same amount of space for Arme as he got in game 1.
Absolutely. I like how they, on PSG.LGD, they tick the boxes though, right? We were saying early game, late game, middle game, they even have tower push thrown in too. With that Jakiro, with that DK last pick, they're gonna have ways to also try to trade and take fights as well. And look to pressure those towers while VG is trying to do the same thing. So here we see the runes, the race to the top rune, Ame and Yang. The dagger speed, able to secure that one for Ame.
That's gonna give the edge once again to PSG.LGD to start with 3 bounty runes for them.
It was so funny because he threw the dagger like 10 seconds ago just to get the movement speed. He's like, nope, sinking, not gonna let you get 2 because the stun. So there we see the lane swap immediately happening. Xnova wanting to go up top. He has a sentry ward on the ET to be able to try to zone out Yang as best as possible on that sinking. And they know Yang has the stun level 1-2 because of that bounty rune exchange.
We're gonna have to watch both side lanes be very careful with the positioning, as both sides certainly having the early game stun and damage to get kills in these laning stages.
Man, this pressure lane by LGD though it's pretty damn strong. Ogre and Jakiro, 2 of the strongest early game. They got Paparazzi down to less than like a quarter HP off of their first nuke combo just from giving him the right click. And immediately we see the Miranda's already moving. Fade initially wanted to get the first blood started bottom just so they could get a good start for Paparazzi, but that's not going to be the case. He wants to secure Yang now.
See what the state of the region and the bottom lane for VG Gaming. They've got 5 tangos on Paparazzi, no salves on the 2 of them. And we'll see Paparazzi constantly just tangoing himself up to make sure that he can withstand this early game aggression from FY and Chalice and get a look in at the creeps.
He will not have fun down here. I'm pretty sure of that for Paparazzi. He has a Lion protecting him. As we've seen in the last game too, the Lion not able to provide that much inside the lane phase. And as we said too, he's versus 2 of the strongest laners currently in the game, that's Jakiro and Ogre. So it could definitely be a tough one for Paparazzi. That's what you see immediately. DY is like, I don't want a lane. I'm pulling just to get the creeps under the tower so that we can have Paparazzi try to get some farm here.
And so on the other side of the map, the top lane, you know, Ame, what sort of pressure is he going to be feeling? Is there going to be a certain level when suddenly this lane becomes a little rougher for the Spectre against the SK, or with Xnova by his side? Is this a pretty safe lane for Ame?
I think for Ame it could be pretty safe. They could set up kills onto Xnova if he steps up too far, but I think Ame will be just fine. As they're actually getting aggressive onto Yang with that couple heroes Astral Spirit that Xnova had. But yeah, the lanes are looking extremely good for PSG.LGD coming off of this start. Mid lane could be the one that changes, but we see Dragonite tend to farm really well, even if you're versus Necrophos now at this point.
Now I'm seeing it.
Art Stop Aurora, it's magical. You know, before in the past, it was pretty devastating because you're playing versus your strength hero, but now you pick up your bracers and whatnot inside the laning phase. Every little thing, it adds up and counts.
That extra bit of magic resistance. And talking about some of the items, Somnus, DK, Ame on the Spectre. What's the build? Who's getting the Radiance this game?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we could see Ame just go for some type of Manta build this game. Just wanted to put the pressure on. I think we may not actually see it, but we'll see. It could still be the Radiance on the DK, the double bracer Radiance, but not too sure if we're actually going to see it on either of them.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what sort of approach they want to take as this game goes on. Let's see if we see any Midases cropping up in this game. There's a lot of potential buyers, as mentioned by the panel. And Chalice, he's going to be dreaming of Midas. Always that want to get it when you're playing the Ogre Magi.
Absolutely. He's gonna free farm down here. Like we see 13-8. I think they've gotten, I want to say, at least 5 or 6 range creep denies now. I kept seeing him just making sure that they can pull the creeps onto the range creep over and over again. And Paparazzi, they're kind of zoning him out of the lane. He's actually having to farm the pull from DY now. So 14 last hits, but you see the 15-8 of the Ogre and even 5 for 0 of the Jakiro. Very good early start for PSG.LGD as they're already a 1K advantage, and Spectre is not getting pressured. And whenever a Spectre is not getting pressured, you have to feel a bit concerned already.
I mean, would you have liked to see VG Gaming sort of switch it up? Maybe if got Paparazzi starting himself up top in some sort of a aggressive lane situation against the Spectre.
Oops, they get the arrow.
They do. It's a long stun. I mean, they'll have it with the 3 of them. So, hey, that'll switch things around. Fade comes in to turn the tables on that bottom lane. A lane, as we've been talking about, was not an easy one for Paparazzi, and they open up the chance for first blood.
They needed that. They really did to bail out Paparazzi down here. And it's lined up perfectly. It was inside the creep wave, too. It just was able to clip him right in the middle of those. So the salvage at the start here, but immediately PSG.LGD will get aggressive on Paparazzi as soon as Fade leaves. They're going to try to set up a kill.
So much damage. And DY has to come in. Paparazzi just beaten entirely out of the lane as soon as Chalice and FY are back to chase them down. They just turn towards DY. Will get a Hex out, but the Dragon FY continues to breathe down the neck of DY.
Such a terrifying lane. Playing carry versus this lane, I'm sure any carry player is like, oh my god, I would not want to be in that position of Paparazzi right now either. As we see bounties coming up, Paparazzi's going to make his way over. Maybe try to set up for an arrow. As it will fly, but we'll be off the mark.
And they're chasing. F5's trying to turn. A big star still comes in from Fade, bringing F5 down low, and Fade gets the dragon. They'll lose Paparazzi in turn. Continuing to trade kills down on the bottom lane. Top lane, a bit of a dive coming in towards Yang, but he's underneath the tower, and Arme and X-Nova already blowing their 2 spells.
But they're getting the range creep denied. They get both of those range creep denies. You see X-Nova prioritizing those, trying to shut down the Sanking. Yang's still having an okay time top though. Level 4, almost level 5. Going to be going for that Veil build this game as we see a ton of magic damage coming out for Vici, of course.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of success with the Veil first Sankings, I feel, here.
It's just so nice. It gives you everything, right? It makes you tankier, it makes everyone do more damage, it makes you do more damage, gives you HP regen. It gives, yeah, it's just tons of sustain and all the amount of pressure it can provide. Another range creep deny from Ame.
Yeah, interesting mid lane, it continues to be absolutely dead even. I feel like 6 minutes in, sort of the closest trading of farm we've seen in the mid lane.
I mean, Heartstopper just does 0 damage. It's completely counteracted by the Bracers and the Dragon Blade. The arrow bottom.
Another poke on Chalice. There's 3 of them. Trying to chase, but as you say, with that missed combo, Chalice will be able to walk himself back towards the tower.
And I see he's already got phase boots and a gloves of haste on Chalice. He's already preparing to go for a Midas early on onto this Ogre Magi.
Ori, he's certainly going to go for this one. Has the Reaper's Scythe. One more Death Pulse and an ult will do. X-Nova is trying to do his best to hide, but there's no escape for him. First kill there with the Scythe from Ori. Get a bit of action, and now towards bottom. They'll continue to try and go, but Fade, again, a little late with the follow-up arrow. Won't be able to find the connection. DY does line up the 2-man stun to stop Paparazzi from getting into any trouble as F1 and Chalice try to fight back. The waves under the tower. Chalice will be able to continue to find a lot of farm from this bottom lane.
Yeah, Ori looked like he kind of wanted to make the rotation down bottom after he got the kill on the ET, but you're playing versus a Dragon Knight. You cannot leave your lane for too long when that DK form is up and available, so immediately has to make the move. And like you said, we're probably likely to see a Midas coming out this game. Somnus queues it up. Getting those high levels on DK, sure, the attack speed's fantastic, but it really is a lot about the levels. I mean, DK, we see these talents, they're amazing. If you get that level 20 mark, we see these players take the 210 GPM, and you start skyrocketing the scale with
well, that's the, could we see the holy trinity of triple Midas? Spectre's got a gloves of haste.
He's got a gloves. All right,
Chalice, they're triple Midas,
they're
baby.
Prepared for that late game. I mean, you look at their draft, and they
got it all queued up. Triple Midas. I feel like we've probably seen some games where we have like 3 Midases on the course, but in terms of them all going for it sort of as their first item, it's not something that we see every day. And LGD, they say that's the best approach to this game. And if they can get away with it, VG Gaming, the heat is turned up even more. We said they have to play fast. They've really got to play fast. If LGD get away with getting 3 Midases online in the first 10 minutes of this game, the late game it's not going to be fun for Vici.
No, definitely not. And you look at Vici's draft, and them hitting buildings can be kind of difficult. They don't really have your natural tower pusher. Sure, they can get kills that could progress into towers, but them getting towers is going to be difficult. I think that's the idea going behind these Midases for PSG.LGD. They're like, if we just get triple Midases, we don't lose our towers, we're going to outscale.
Oh, absolutely.
By a long shot.
And they really will. They really will. Vici Gaming, they've got to be looking at sort of the gloves of haste on all the 3 cores and saying, right, we've got to amp it up. We have to punish this somehow.
Yeah, got to turn up the pace for sure here as they're already starting to set up onto the mid lane here. Reaper's Scythe is available.
Fade trying to have a bit of a look towards mid, but Somnus level 7, it's not a target that you're going to have any fun jumping on. At the least you can try and keep him away from the tower. Get some right clicks and a bit of a beat down onto it, but killing the Dragon Knight, even at this early point, just with those 2 braces and those early levels, it's a very, very tough ordeal. The space is there for Chalice to take that tower. These early towers, early objectives, that's just going to fund the Midases even sooner.
They might get all 3 Midases pretty much at the exact same time.
Oh my goodness.
So we're about to have Ames finished up. Dragon Knight's almost approaching that one, and so is Ogre. Oh my goodness.
We'll go mid lane, Fade. Turn, find the arrow, he's going to look to leading. Great stomp from X-Nova, catches both Ori and DY. They'll come in with the horn, they're looking for the fight here. They'll burn down DY. Arme's on top of the line. He'll fall, Reaper Scythe down onto the DK, but Somnus, he's got the HP to walk it off. The 2 Vici, Ori and Dag have tried to step up, but another stomp from X-Nova catches them out. It's 2 kills for LGD. Yang's trying his best to turn and get Arme. He will find the Spectre, but it will cost him his life as FY with the Ice Path keeps the trade very favorable for LGD.
You know that LGD's loving that, though. They are going Midases, and they're taking the fight and winning the fight anyway.
It really is about 11 minutes in. You are going to see a Midas on Chalice, Arme, and Somnus. How do you beat that?
He gets rooted.
Okay.
Did he get the triple stack? He got the triple stack.
He did his job.
He did
his job.
But he's dead for quite a while out here. But you know what? He's probably pretty happy with that stack anyway.
Triple Midas.
Triple Midases and winning the fight.
Goodness.
That was VG trying to get a fight so they can progress it into a tower so they can keep something going there. But PSG.LGD, they bring everybody there to make sure they do not lose.
I just want to see when they're all out. So Arme's the first to grab his.
Somnus has
There's Somnus's. And Chalice is he's the last one to be delivered to, but it's on its way. So let's have a look. I want to see the exact timing. We're watching that clock. So 10 minutes, 37 seconds in.
Man.
All 3 cores have a Midas.
Did he multicast it?
I think he did. I heard the sound.
No, he did not.
Did you not? Okay. Are you sure?
He did not.
He did not. Okay. But they've all got Midas' fault. What do you do?
That just kind of like...
They're already at a 2K lead. They're not losing any of the map.
That lights a fire under Vinci's ass.
Oh
they have
my goodness.
Start making moves. And look at this. You see cooldown efficiency, of course. The first Midas usage. It's up by 1 second.
And the stacks are there.
Midases and the stacks.
Oh man, this has got to be daunting for VG Gaming. They're going to see all these Midases. And what do they do? What do you do?
They have to just start pressuring towers, step 1. So you see Yang immediately pressuring up top. Next, they have to start pressuring the next tower, probably the mid lane. I think running around F4 is their best option, while Paparazzi just tries to catch back up. Paparazzi almost has his Midas done, but I think they really have to apply the pressure here for the other 4 here.
I mean, sure, he's nearly got his Midas, but there's already 3 on LGD. They haven't even got 1 on VG Gaming.
Yeah, we're hearing the crowd. I mean,
I think they're just very excited about the Midas. I am.
Oh boy.
VG Gaming have to make something happen ASAP.
They're looking for it though, right? You see them running around as a 3. This is the triple stun kill combo. They have Finger now for burst too, but look at how much focus PSG.LGD is putting on the mid tower. They're like, all right, get ready. We have Haunt. We should have Haunt available pretty soon. Yeah, 10 seconds. Rally everyone around that mid tower. Do not let them try to take this one too early. Make them really work for it.
Chalice. Midas is ready to use. A little bit of efficiency lost. He's waiting for the creep wave. Let's see if he gets a multicast.
He's priming it. He just used that ignite.
Okay. Doesn't want to step forward yet. That Midas. Chalice.
It'll push in. It'll push in. They're actually looking to set up instead.
They are. They're looking to go with the Horn. Splitter coming down. X will come out for T9, but he gets dragged back by the ETO. They're on top of them with a brief fire. Yang tries to come in with the counter play, but the macro pie is down. FY making it ever so hard for VG Gaming to fight, and they'll jump with the start. So Reaper Cypher is there, and VG Gaming will be able to turn, take out both Somnus and X Nova. Arme is being chased. Paparazzi's got the lead in with the stun. The rest of VG Gaming still looking to just put pressure on that mid tower. They don't want to try and waste time chasing the Spectre. They want to try and continue to get that map control, take these objectives. Yang falling low, that actually leads in for more. Goes in with the stun, the follow from Paparazzi. They get Chalice as well. There's the pressure that we needed to see from VG Gaming. They'll bring it out and they'll get that mid 1 tower.
I'm glad that they're really emphasizing that they need to put the pressure on, and they do. Even though LGD tries to respond and tries to fight at that one, they actually were pretty limited. I think Chalice had like no mana going into the fight before it even started. We saw him like igniting, throwing some type of spells, and throwing his bloodlust on the tower, but he only had like 60 mana. So yeah, PSG.LGD, they commit a bit too far forward, and Vici, they start punching back, getting map control, asserting their dominance, trying to take advantage of those triple Midases. Yang is gonna be big one to watch here soon, as he's going to be very close to the Blink Dagger. So Blink, they're going to be looking to make more aggressive plays, and it's going to be easier for them to set up for those arrows and kills.
Back to the farm game for LGD.
Back to the farm indeed.
More than happy with any breathing room that they are given.
Yep, X-Nova's like, that's Midas, I'll stack.
Oh, I tell you what, Chalice is getting a little unlucky on the multicast. I
saw. He'll get it eventually, and it'll make up for all the ones that he doesn't get.
And anyway, what sort of builds are we seeing coming out after the Midases?
Definitely the pipe on Chalice. You look at the heavy amount of magic damage from Vici, makes a lot of sense. Always versus Necrophos is going to be excellent, as well as Will Sanking. and what, BKBs? BKBs and magic resistance probably, and yeah, it looks like Ame's just gonna go for the Diffusal. Radiance feels like it's a bit too slow after, if they're gonna go for minus. I think Diffusal is just a better item overall because the supports just can't play. They just die super easily and it comes out at an earlier time.
Trying for some sort of setup with the Moonlight. Oh, mate. Back on the tower. FY.
Oh,
actually not going to be hit by the first stun. Does turn for the fire. And that will allow Fade to find the connection with the arrow. They should have a good shot at getting this. Storm comes out to slow down Fade's damage output, but Paparazzi's already trapping FY in. They'll find the dragon.
Yang now also, while they do make this aggressive move down bottom, he has the Blink Dagger and he scouts the stack. This is important. Paparazzi has God Strength. He should be able to steal this one pretty nicely.
He wants to, right? But level 12 too.
They're bringing everyone over.
You've got you, all Paparazzi.
They have to protect this.
He's going to walk away with a good chunk of this. He's farming up the Ancients. And he's going to get the majority of it.
He sure is.
Takes it away straight in front of PSG.LGD. Paparazzi's happy with that one. X-Nova's looking to make him pay. Stun's going to be out. Stomp set up into the ult. Somnus on top of him. Hell, they've got with the horn too.
Yep.
Ame's ready to commit. They'll jump in the combo. The damage isn't enough to bring Somnus down. He's getting low. Ori, he's still full HP. Another stop. The control from the Ichi holding them back. Somnus and FY will be able to get out of there. Finger comes out from DY. Bursts up Chalice. Another fight where VG Gaming, they're coming out on top.
Great.
Invading LGD's half of the map, taking away that Ancient stack. Sure, Paparazzi dies, but that's a lot of gold that you've denied from LGD.
That you've denied from Somnus in particular, right? He's the one who wants to farm that one with that level 2 DK form. They take that one, and they could have even gotten another kill out of it if Ori, he actually used the Reaper Sight on the mid lane trying to kill the Ogre before the fight. So if they had that one in the fight,
they would have had the Dragon Knight.
They would have had the Dragon Knight as well. So still a big play there from VG, denying quite a lot of farm from Somnus in particular. But they only do get, what, they get X-Nova as one as Chalice, and Paparazzi does go down, so bit of even trade, but VG is able to get, what, all 3 of the bounty runes it looks like? 3 of the 4.
Keeping that edge as Ori. He's only got the Greaves, so these early movements, it's definitely, at this point of the game, VG Gaming, they can get in and find these kills. Sure, the 3 cores of LGD are tanky, but if they focus their efforts down onto one, they can certainly start the fights with a quick pick-off, especially with the high burst when Finger and Reaper Scythe are available.
Yeah. And they're looking to continue getting aggressive. Every time Moonlight Shadow's up, they're looking to start making those moves. There is no haunt also for 80 seconds for PSG.LGD, so they're just really trying to take advantage of all these timings here that they can keep aggressive and keep trying to just punish the Midas.
They have
keep on punish the Midas.
And you really have to look out for if in a scenario VG Gaming do lose a fight, that's when you've got to be incredibly worried for them.
Yeah.
You cannot afford to lose a fight against a team that's gone triple Midas.
Yeah, you have to be the ones dictating the pace. You cannot let PSG.LGD just sit back and farm. You have to be the ones just setting the tempo, getting these towers down, getting this map control. And they're doing that. They're all grouped up. Paparazzi joining the fray as well after getting that little bit of surge increased bottom. And controlling the enemy jungle.
Another tower taken by VG Gaming. Its top half of the map will fall in under their reign mid lane. They're looking for the connection as they'll get themselves straining onto Ame with the epicenter from Yang. They should have the damage to do so.
And his Midas is up when he dies. So a bit of a double benefit there for them getting that kill as they find Ame just a bit too far up. And Somnus, they actually saw him for a second. They have detection, or they had detection.
They don't anymore though.
He walked out of it.
He's able to keep himself away from them. VG Gaming, they have the 5 of them pushing on mid.
They're just trying to restrict the map as much as possible.
Haunt will be back up as Ame respawns and just a few hundred gold away from having Diffusal. So suddenly the damage that Ame is going to offer in these fights will hurt. Certainly losing the mana on some of these heroes. It's going to make it a little harder for them to offer that control unless they can get that jump first. They'll look to try and fight here with the arrow. Does connect onto X-Nova. They're thinking about going in.
They've got ways to protect. These little clustered areas versus Elder Titan and Jakiro is not a place that you really want to fight. Even though you have your Sand King, he does not have his epicenter available. So those small areas are not your jam right now.
They've done a good job of fighting around Yang so far.
They have.
He's making a lot happen across the map. 116. being sort of their main initiator, and for the most part, the majority of the damage output that VG Gaming are getting these kills with.
Yang and Fade, right? Fade is 4-0 and 6. He's 10 of the 11 kills with this Mirana, being able to set up those arrows, and even the extra damage that does come from Starstorm with a Veil, it is quite significant. And they're grouping up. They look, yep, just keep that pressure going. They have the Greaves, as you mentioned, with that Necrophos, so they want to keep trying to put it on to LGD.
They're tanky. I mean, in the correct situation, 5v5, they definitely come out on top at the moment. So there we have the high ground positioning from VG Gaming, favoring them. PSG.LGD starting to shift themselves towards the side of the map.
They're ready to fight, though. Even Ame was pushing top. As soon as he finished the Fusel, he didn't send Courier. He TP'd back to base to pick it up. So they're expecting that VG Gaming is going to look to make something happen here.
He's ready for the horn play.
Yeah.
The counter play if VG Gaming do try and commit behind this tower. 20 minutes. Bounty rune control down bottom will favor VG Gaming. They'll find the first catch as X-Nova heads up to the high ground. Elder Titan's out of the fight. Another ancient stack taken by Paparazzi as VG Gaming continuing to get themselves over to LGD's half of the map. And making it very apparent that LGD, with the triple Midases, they know that they're not really ready to sort of head into this 5v5. They have to give the respect to VG Gaming and sort of give them space, even though it's on LGD's half of the map. They don't want to get close to them. They've got to let them sort of get away with taking these stacks and not trying to force a fight. All LGD need is time, and that time does have to be time without them feeding away unnecessary kills. They're playing it safe.
LGD needs every single one of the heroes currently in order to take any type of fight. Once they start getting more farm, their heroes are going to be able to take fights without every single one of them, but they're about delaying and waiting for the late game. Like the panel was talking about, draft panel, they say ET, Jakiro, these heroes are about stalling the game out, letting your carries farm, and let you get to that late game. Well, VG, they want to be playing on these timings. They now also have the BKB finish on Paparazzi, so they want to just keep running, keep putting the pressure on to PSG.LGD. Do not let them back up and keep this farm going. Do not let them get these tanky items. Somnus almost BKB finished. They've got Pipe and almost the Vessel now done on Chalice. So now they have options and methods to be able to kill that Necrophos a lot easier if the Greaves do get popped, so he can't dispel it.
Top lane creeps all the way around. VG Gaming potentially ready to make a jump. And whoever comes forward here, and yeah, Yang's going to try. He's revving up the epicenter. He's in straight away to look for Ame. The follow-up power, the jump with the burst. They get the quick kill. Beautiful play from VG Gaming as they set up for whoever comes to deal with that creep wave pressure, and it's pretty much the biggest kill they could hope for. Ame is the one that presents himself, and at this point of the game, you cannot underestimate the magical damage that VG Gaming's line up to. Yang, no fear as he jumps in, makes that play. Ame's off the map. The space is there for VG Gaming to just continue this high-paced gameplay and say, LGD, you cannot get away with buying 3 Midases. Chalice gets jumped upon. He's a little tankier. No need to overcommit from VG Gaming as they'll settle down, sit back, look for another objective. The tier 2 tower is taken.
The way they pressured it was, I mean, the siege creep in particular. Yang was pinging it out constantly. He's like, we have a siege creep top. Someone's going to come back to defend this one. And yeah, easy little setup there. If it's the Dragon Knight, if it's Somnus there, they probably will not be able to set up for that kill as he's very tanky and he has BKB. Immediately when Ame dies too, he queues up a BKB himself. He's like, they're all magic damage. If I just get BKB, very similar to the last game, how the hell are they going to deal with me? The Sven, sure, has that high physical damage, but it's difficult as a Sven to stick on top of a hero like Spectre, even though they have so much to say.
We're seeing some of the damage output numbers here, especially that magical. Look how much Yang and Ori are doing this game. And impressive to note, you know, Yang being on par with Ori. You know, a lot of that damage sort of accrued in the laning stage when the Necrophos is just sitting there. That is a lot of damage. Yang, he's able to match that. So the two of them just being able to slowly bring down these tanky cores of LGD at this point in the game.
And look at this move. Immediately they see Ame on the map and they're like, go fight at the Spectre. We want to fight where he is because then he can't haunt away. If we have all of our heroes set up around him, he can't actually get anywhere away from him.
Is Ame going to show?
That's where they want to take that fight.
He's holding himself in the trees. They'll get some wards down. VG Gaming start to get, again, some vision over LGD's half of the map.
They're just ready with their triple stun combo, their quad stun combo for whoever does show inside of that lane.
Who's going to show?
X-Nova.
He's
tempted.
He's a little close. The TP's coming immediately as they'll look to try and turn God Strength pop by Paparazzi. They'll take down the ET. Somnus goes with the Dragon Tail stun, trying to commit on to Paparazzi. Ice Path, Macropie's down. They're burning through him, but he gets the chance to put the BKB. Hex is out onto the Spectre. Paparazzi heads over. They're looking towards Ame. Yang's in again with the Burrow Strike. Buyback comes down for both of them. The 3-man stun. Paparazzi's holding his ground, but he's falling low. They have the damage this time. PSG.LGD to turn around, take this fight back side, cuts out Ame, but he's now being surrounded. X-Nova, Chalice, and Somnus trying to finish him off. Grieves the pot, stops it out, they'll force him to the side, but the fire of Somnus burns him out. They'll kill off Ori. And LGD, can they find much more from this? They're eyeing up Fade. Does have the movement speed to get himself away. This time round, VG Gaming, they looked for action. They looked for a fight. But LGD were able to stand tall, turn around, and take much away from VG Gaming as that lead that VG started to build will get shut down.
They're still just very tanky on the side of PSG.LGD. You see the Sven comes in. He gets a 3-man Storm Member with his God Strength, but rallied around the Ogre Magi as well as that Dragon Knight. They just don't really have that much damage that's coming out just from Paparazzi after his BKB goes down. There's so much control for him.
Yang is trying to get out of it, but the Spirit Vessel is bringing him down. FY's got the lockdown. Yang's out.
The magic damage and control coming out between Chalice and FY in those last two situations was way too much for Vici to handle.
And a fight where Yang, unable to get his combo off, could not get in with the epicenter. Same to be said, of course, for DY. Didn't get the chance to pop the finger, so that extra bit of magical damage that we've seen VG Gaming be so successful with, it didn't fall into place.
Yeah, they don't have the finger right at the start there. You see Paparazzi gets that jump, but he's getting controlled. Look at how much chain stun comes out. 3 stuns, 4 stuns, the magic damage. He's already starting to tick down. Honk comes out. It's panic. Everyone needs to start running. Paparazzi, like we said, he gets a nice 3-man stun, but his BKB is about to wear off, and he just gets completely controlled right after that goes down, and he's too low.
And FY with a fantastic Ice Path, just shutting off Yang from being able to re-enter the fight with a possible epicenter. It did not have the follow-up. And this is the warrior for VG Gaming. You know, Smiles there on LGD. They know that any time they win a fight with the greedy item builds that they've gone for, it's certainly going to be all Smiles in their booth.
Ooh, Somnus. Maybe he has to hide. They're hunting for him. He's TPing. Did they get a glimpse of him there for a second? They Oh my god! That was like point.
I think that's as close as it gets. That is as close as it gets. Paparazzi had backup. That could very well have been a good shot of finding Somnus and killing him on his own. But he's out. Successful TP. And now just trickling down to only a 1K lead for VG Gaming. You've got to start to wonder if that timing is starting to fall away from them again here in game 2.
It's going to get much harder for them to start taking these fights into the BKBs. Ame almost has his finish, a level 18 Dragon Knight now, so we saw those levels are really going to build up on the DK till he starts getting that level 20 talent in particular, and just continue to get that gold increase, and he's tanky. Level 18 with that extra Dragon Slow as well versus the Sven in particular. Once you get your BKB on your Sven, you're running around, you get hit by this Elder Dragon level 3, and you're just slowed. You're just going to constantly get that slowed applied to you. They're going to have to get some chain stuns into bursting some of these targets, because this thing is that LGD, they don't really have that much save on their side. They have the Glimmer Cape and they're building the 4-step on FY, but if they can get the chain stun and they can blow up the DK before he gets the BKB, that's probably the best way they can have a fight start. And Chalice, these Midases are just putting them, they're so high level, right? It's a 1K gold advantage for Vici, but if we look at the experience, it's a 4K for LGD because of those, even though they were losing some of those fights just because of the Midas usages.
That's only going to grow as time goes on. There's no doubt about it. For VG Gaming to keep ahead, keep on par at least, they have to try and find these catch-offs, these pick-offs. They'll go for the smoke. It's always hard to do. Anytime there's a Spectre on the opposite side, going for these smoke plays, you know that there's going to be instant reaction. You've got to make a pick, you've got to make it quick. Ideally, you've got to find Spectre as that target at the start of the fight.
You just got to kill one of them, right? Kill one of those cores before they're able to get their defensive items up or get saved. Just blow them up instantly so you can get a number advantage with Vici. Right now, they're setting themselves up around the Roche too, so if they can get a kill set up, they can easily bring that fight into the Roche pit for themselves, as they have, they have the God Strength from the Sven, so they can bring it down quickly. But it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to find anything, and this time, it's time wasted, where LGD is able to farm and get that information on the map. LGD's turn to smoke and look for the fight themselves. Ori is already starting to hunt kind of a bit down bottom. They know that Ame was here. But Ame, again, we see him doing this a lot. He backs up, goes TPs to the base. He doesn't TP to any other tower. He TPs all the way back to the base to be as defensive as possible so that he does not get ganked, because he can just haunt into the fights. He wants them to fight the rest of his team.
See what sort of a catch they can get. They are going to walk into the entire lineup of VG Gaming. VG Gaming can find the setup for the trees. Smoke will be dispelled. Yang goes in for the first burrow strike. It's only after the one of them, but Paparazzi's fully committing on the DK. The horn comes out. They've got vision on the Somnus, but Somnus can turn with his own BKB pop. F5 lines up the ice power. Boris trying to move in, look for that Reaper-side target. Somnus keeps himself away as the BKB starts to end. There'll be a double buyback from VG Gaming. Both TY and Yang getting themselves back in the game. They're trying to find some sort of a catch, but as the buybacks come out, PSG.LGD, they just back off. They retreat and they lose nothing.
The instant disengage. It seemed like they knew those buybacks were going to come before they even happened. They were really just dancing around the fight, ready to back away instantly. They get the kill. Ame focusing heavily on the supports. As we see, playing support versus Spectre is just not fun. He's able to instantly get those pickoffs onto the line at almost every start of the fights. They were very close, though, there to be able to bring down, almost being able to bring down Somnus. If they had already in a better position there, he could have potentially gotten that Reaper side, and they could have started the fight at a big advantage.
They're just throwing everything down onto the Dragon Knight at the start of it all. But that little bit of a window there for him to put that BKB, and the smart, clean call to be made to just get out of there.
And Yang is the one who's, the smoke got broken, so he immediately has to stun in, but then he just gets chain controlled. He gets Ice Path, Ogre stunned, DK stunned, and all the damage just starts burning and tickling away. And Yang seems to be the really big important one for the team. He's really contributing so much damage when he does get those epicenters off.
It's almost as if Yang, rather than being the one to start the fight, he has to be the one to sort of sit back and make sure that he can get that epicenter off. They need that damage output. They've got to somehow follow up the initiation from the Lion.
They're gonna have to have another way to save him in particular. Like, they have the force staff for Fade, so they're probably gonna have to prioritize force staffing Yang. If Yang does do like a blink stun to initiate for them to get like a follow-up arrow or something like that, they're gonna have to force him away so he can back up, reset, so he can get an opportunity to get that epicenter, because they are seeming to need that damage when those BKBs go down. They're just too tanky, and the fights just get way too chaotic when there's a Spectre in the game.
So it definitely has to be respected. The fact that VG Gaming are keeping level in farm, despite themselves being up against 3 Midases. Just goes to show how much they're still able to get done. The question is if it is enough. As now with the slight gold lead going the way of LGD, you know that another bad fight for VG Gaming is going to be when they begin to fall behind in terms of item progression. LGD, have we got anything getting close to, or Manta style?
Levels. They're about to have level 20 as well.
Yep,
they have the 21 on the DK, so that 210 GPM, we're going to see that gold really start skyrocketing forward. And yeah, the big one, like we said, the experience. That's what those Midases drive. It's a 10,000 experience lead for LGD, even if VG is keeping the gold extremely close pretty much the entire game.
Really, it's so close right now in the money.
Just like last game too, right? Even though VG wasn't able to take fights at all last game, they were at a completely even net worth the whole time in the game. So they're very efficient around the map, but we see this win probability. It's a Spectre proceeding into the 32-minute, proceeding into the later stages of the game, getting all these items built up. Not even just a Spectre with Bloodlust, and a DK also with Bloodlust, so they have high scaling potential.
Time to go with the smoke.
They want the fight.
Spectre pushing out bottom. He has the Horn Arme ready to join them.
They scan. They're a little afraid to just walk up onto a high ground just here.
Paparazzi stepping forward, get in with the blink stun. He needs help, but he needs it now. Force back will allow Paparazzi to be separated from PSG.LGD, and Somnus did commit both the Dragon Form and the BKB there. Chalice gets a nice multicast on the Midas.
Throws the Vessel onto Yang, making sure he can keep stopping the blink. The arrow. Whoop.
Juked out by Chalice. They want to try and poke back at VG Gaming. Somnus is going to be very weak for the fight without the ult or the BKB. It looks like they can't quite get a grab. Again, PSG.LGD, they're very good at this maneuver, getting in, and as soon as they realize it's not the situation, the terms that they want to fight under, they always get themselves out, and Paparazzi and the boys, they just can't grab anyone.
Chalice, the super beefy frontliner now. 3,350 HP because of that 40 strength. 36 armor. We love Ogre. Just look at his damage too. Plus 100 damage down. I love it. I love watching this hero. It's Vici. Looking to get aggressive here.
Fade.
They know that this DK does not have Elder Dragon form, so they're trying to catch something. The arrow will connect.
They do have gold strength.
They're going to have to pop.
They're going to commit heavily for this one. He's a big boy, Chalice.
He is so tanky.
That's 3 heroes trying to have a go on him. They barely bring him down below half health.
And that's what we were saying, man. Ogre, when you get that 40 strength talent, when you've got a solo crest and a pipe, it is not easy to bring him down. They need Ori.
They want to try and get something done with this god strength usage. They're into the pit.
It's going to be wearing out, though, and it's spotted. Doing Roche versus Elder Titan is not the easiest thing at all.
Moonlight Shadow, that's VG Gaming. They want to try and poke for a fight. The ult's going to be up pretty soon for Somnus, though.
15 seconds. Another multi-cast Midas.
He's making the money.
That was, I think that's the third one in a row that he's gotten either a 4x or a 3x. Cash money.
I can see it there. 5,000 gold pretty much earned by this Midas.
Investment made it back in 2.4 times. Usually we'll not see that until way later stage of the game, but it's an oak. And they're smoked up. Like you said, they've got the Elder Dragon form. They're just looking to take fights now. There's no God Strength for 50 seconds for Vici. This is a very weak time for them if they do get caught. Yang actually picks up the rune. They know, Ames knows this.
He goes for the 2 bounty runes right underneath the noses of LGD. They're all around. He's going to be able to get in and get away with it without any sort of fight kicking off. FY is starting to hunt. Leaves just outside the vision. No, he saw him. Horn's going to be used. They're going to try and chase for this one. A bow strike over to the side. Macropie is down. He's trying for the TP. Anything to cancel it in time. Yes, there is. Chalice with the stun holds back Yang. As he'll get the bounty runes, cost him his life. He's dead for 90 seconds. As LGD, they can look to make a player at the least. Just be happy there's just 90 seconds more. But they can continue to work with the efficiency of their Midases.
They're gonna set up for the Roche. They have the Manta, the Diffusal. They have that high Desolate damage that comes out from Spectre if he does want to come into the pit. There's 70 seconds. They're gonna go in here for sure. With that solo crest too, even pop the DK form. He just forward.
They get the stun control. He's been forced down in the river. Will have the chance to pop the BKB.
Fade.
Turn, hit upon him. The blast set up onto Fade. Holds him in place of X-Nova's ultimate. And Oris BKB, it's going to wear off. The pop the hood, the ice path control again. FY catching the paparazzi though. In on the backside, the 3-man stun. Has he got the damage? They're trying for Somnus. The finger comes out for Ti9. Reapers is there. Or he gets the kill, but he will fall. Paparazzi still trying his best to fight for Arme with the BKB. Can stay on the target. Double kill for Arme. Triple buybacks coming out from VG Gaming. They want to strike back. They want to strike back hard. Paparazzi leads forward on towards the dragon. The ghost round from Ori is slowing down Arme. Stop from X-Nova is going to allow them some chance to disengage, but the chase will continue. FY shuts down the escape. Ice Palm's there to block them off. They're still chasing that Paparazzi. He's in. Stun from Chalice, holds him back. Arrow, Fade. Does he find the connection? No, will be duped off.
Now they're all rallied around the shrine here too. Ori still looking for more Chalice. He's gonna get Bloodthorn.
See if they can get the pick off here onto the Ogre. He's so beefy, so much strength. They've already been able to turn and beat down DY. Another stun from Paparazzi comes out, multicast onto Ori. Ghost Shroud, Guardian Green is healing him back up. War Cry from Paparazzi used to try and keep Ori safe. The BKB's back online. And they get Chalice. Yang, you hear him coming in, but another ice path here. FY just shutting down any chance for Yang to get in. Paparazzi's popped the BKB, but that's 2 dead on VG Gaming without buyback available. LGD, they've got the numbers. FY again locks down Ori with the setup of the ice pump. Ori will fall, so will Fade. As these buyback plays not working out for VG Gaming, they chase back too far. And that was one of the most costly attempts of a team fight we've seen, down 3k gold after that, Vici.
And that was one of the most impressive disengages I've seen so far at this tournament. The way LGD just instantly backs up. The buybacks come out, they back up, but they're still kind of ready to fight. They rally themselves around the shrine, and they just keep their tanky frontliners in position there to take all the damage.
And now Roach is going to go their way. 5k lead for LGD.
These long duration team fights, the support surviving for so long. I don't even know how many stomps, how many heroes X-Nova stomped inside.
I mean, both the support combo here
is crazy right now from LGD.
So much AoE control in these team fights from X-Nova and FY. It makes it impossible for VG Gaming to chase down targets when the BKBs have worn off.
They always just seem to be living all throughout the fights because of this ridiculously tanky frontline. The Ogre, the DK, the Spectre, they provide way too much distraction. It just allows them to sit in the back and just keep chain locking people down.
They're going to take the mid-racks. There's still 40 seconds without the Necrophos, 20 without Fade. Mid-racks will fall. They'll push on for more with a good duration left on the Elder Dragon form. There's no reason for LGD to back off yet, as they will take this second set. From Vici jumping in as well, looking for a bit of a poke onto DY. There's the stomp. X-Nova controlling the Lion. In they go with the stuns. DY cannot escape. Paparazzi Yang to get in. It's a big epicenter. They've killed off one. BKB popped by Paparazzi, but he has to get back. He's got to wait for the rest of the team to get in, or he's back in 10 seconds. Zhang, can he find the setup? Burrow strike, looking for the arrow, but the illusion blocking the arrow connection means that Ame can very easily sneak himself away, or at least try to. He's got the BKB, should be fine. BKB and a TP out gets him back to base. As again, LGD with another very successful disengage, only losing X-Nova off the back of that.
Every single time, right? They're just so damn good at getting away from the fights. These four-staff plays, just little defensive moves, the way that they're positioning, it's pretty remarkable from LGD. Vici has seemed to have just hit a brick wall so far in this game.
Every move it's just flawless.
Yeah.
From LGD right now.
They're not able to get the combo. Vici, like we said, the best way that they can get these fights started is they need Ori to be in position to blow a target up with that Reaper set.
Blocking the arrow connection means that Ame can... push down towers.
Dude, his magic resist is going to be insane. He's going to be having over 50% magic resist versus this lineup.
How do you kill it?
Like,
how do you kill that?
With the Satanic on top, he even puts the treads away.
Oh,
all right, let's go.
He's ready.
Black Dragon.
This isn't even Somnus' final form yet. We're ready to see it. VG Gaming are looking for the wraparound. Jack is going to be able to find the jump on X-Nova. How much they want to commit. The hold comes out, giving them the vision of all the appearances of VG Gaming. Ori, he's leading it straight away with the BKB with Somnus. The Dragon is out, beating down onto Ori. Ori trying to get back towards the rest of his teammates, but the BKB is going to wear off. Ori's in trouble. Stuns there. Ori's held down. Ori's dead for 90. No buyback. Ice Path. FY. He's able to get the connection onto DY. Two taken out. As LGD chase down for more. Somnus jumps in, locked down onto Paparazzi. They have the change, so Paparazzi's out of the game. GG is called, and LGD are one step closer to moving towards that Aegis 2-0. They'll knock VG Gaming down to the lower bracket.
They just pulled out a triple Midas versus a heavy pressure damage, just spell damage lineup from Vici. Vici, they're lacking the tower push, but they were running around looking for kills constantly. But PSG.LGD, they make the greed work. They make it work so well in this game.
I mean, that's scary. Oh, the confidence to turn up in the upper bracket, 11 minutes in, farming 3 Midases and saying, you know, we're going to get away with this. We know that you need to play fast. We're going to give you a chance. But after the game sort of went past that 30-minute mark, questions were asked, did VG Gaming have it in them? And they did not. LGD just a step ahead. And the maneuvers that they were pulling off there, I mean, there's so much to learn from this game alone. Watching back at the way that LGD played this, I don't think they couldn't have played it any better.
No, the way that they disengaged inside the fights was remarkable, and the way that they just kept controlling. FY and X-Nova did so much work in this game. FY ending 4-2-20 in this game. I just want to see some stun, like how much stun durations we've had between these two in this game, because it seems like they always were seeming to survive, except for X-Nova. He always seems to be the one that like sacrifices himself for the team, but they provided so much lockdown and control.
And obviously both teams loved by the fans here in the crowd. But definitely LGD that came in as the favorites and showing why they will be moving on. And the crowd here is going to be very excited to see them continue their journey towards claiming that Aegis this year. Can they continue to do it? This series looked pretty darn good for them, Rich.
It certainly did. I mean, we look at LGD now, and not only did that series look good for them, but they also are just going to have the best seats in the house, right? They definitely are going to be moving forward now in a way that they took down VG, one of the other teams that looked incredibly dominant. And now we look forward. Do you think that this is the clear favorite to take potentially the entire tournament?
Well, they're in my bracket. That's all I'll say. You know, I got them going all the way. LGD. And as is typical for TI, the team that, you know, the series you expect to be, oh, guaranteed game 3. I mean, come on, that's going to happen.